2 controversial new developments have been approved in Chapel Hill. Plus, I know you're going to want to hear an update on what's happening with Carolina North, the new UNC campus that's going to be on the north side of town. All right, folks, let's dive in. Let's see what's happening here. So we've got the first development that I'd like to tell you about that's been approved is called Lee Village Center, and it's on the eastern side of North Carolina. It's not actually in the Chapel Hill municipality, but it is a Chapel Hill address, going to be a Chapel Hill address, and is tucked between George King Road and Farrington, if you know where that is. A very large tract of land that's currently just nothing but forest, and that's certainly one of the concerns that all the neighbors around there have is like, you're taking away forest and what's going to happen with the stormwater and floodwaters. That's a legitimate concern. Also, George King Road, if you've never been on there, it's actually it's kind of a connector road between NC 54 and Ephesus Church Road. And it's been a gravel road all these years and years and decades, and obviously they're going to need to pave it. It's a huge development. It's on 81 acres, and it's going to have 2,100 apartments and only 40 townhomes. So mostly rentals, and the townhomes are going to be offered with a bit of an affordable housing component. They're going to restrict appreciation on those townhomes for 20 years. The development has been proposed by Thomas Hutton Architects and was approved with the Durham City Council on a 5-to-1 split vote. So it's a bit controversial, and the neighbors around there have really taken up some petitions that have really objected to this new development. 469 people in the area signed a petition objecting to the development. What are the objections? Well, first of all, there's only going to be a 30-foot buffer between this development and the neighboring development, and 30 feet is just not a whole heck of a lot, to be honest with you. If you think about 30 feet, you think of a football field. 30 feet is 10 yards. 50 feet really should be the minimum, and actually 100 feet would be so much better. So that's a problem. Also, this area, as I said, has been a historically low-lying area with lots of wet ground. So how they're going to deal with the drainage of that area remains to be seen. And as things go further with climate change, climate crisis, we're going to see more and bigger storms, and that's going to really be a problem. I mean, think about what happened with Chantel and the Weatherhill Point neighborhood in Carborough. Things like that can and actually will happen again, so that's a problem. So we'll see what happens with the Lee Village Center. Stay tuned for that. The next development that was approved is something called 860 Weaver Dairy. It's on Weaver Dairy Road. It's sort of tucked behind the Kensington Trace, Weatherstone, and Coventry neighborhoods. It's on 45 acres, and they say we'll have up to 575 apartments and 135 townhomes. Now, the good news is those townhomes are going to be for sale. That's what we like to see, is things for sale. This is missing middle housing, which is a good thing. We definitely need missing middle and affordable housing in Chapel Hill. However, this particular tract is very controversial. Once again, there's concerns about stormwater runoff, floodwater runoff. Those 3 neighborhoods, Kensington Trace, Weatherstone, and Coventry, especially Coventry, are really going to be affected by this project. The Covington neighborhood is a great neighborhood of townhomes, and I've sold a number of those homes in that neighborhood. I do believe this will impact that neighborhood negatively. However, there is the caveat that Covington, with those townhomes, has actually long been sort of a feeder to Carroll Woods, which is also right behind there. And I've actually facilitated a number of sales to Carroll Woods with homeowners in Covington. So possibly Carroll Woods could sort of pick up the slack and pick up properties in there. They're buying those townhomes in order to put people in that are waiting to get into Carroll Woods. And as you know, Carroll Woods has a huge, long waiting list. I mean, literally 10 years long, maybe even 15 years by this time. So that's 860 Weaver Dairy. By the way, 860 Weaver Dairy will be 2 5-story apartment complexes plus those townhomes. And they say there will be a huge parking deck for the development. There will be some commercial, there will be some green spaces and walking spaces. Green spaces and walking spaces, of course, are great, and we need a lot more of them. Finally, what's happening with Carolina North? Carolina North is the new proposed North Campus to UNC Chapel Hill. It's going to be huge. If you're unfamiliar with it, where it will be is it's taking over the old Horace Williams Airport, which is right on the corner of MLK Boulevard and Estes. and it's huge. It's almost 1,000 acres. The good news is they're proposing that 700 of those acres remain in forest, remain with those trails. A lot of people use that forest and those trails for recreation at this point, and the main part of Carolina North will be on 230 acres. It's mainly going to be an academic and research hub, so there won't be actually classrooms there very much. One big controversy is there have been some proposals of moving the Dean Smith Center from its current location to Carolina North. I personally do not support that idea. I think that would be terrible. We need the Dean Smith Center to stay where it is so that kids on campus can walk to the Dean Dome and enjoy those games. Traffic would be crazy if it moved to Carolina North. I don't think that's a good idea. How do you feel about that? Just so you know, this project has taken a long time. Planning started in 2009, and now it looks like construction will actually start, although not till 2027 next year. Housing has been a concern, although they are proposing to house students on that campus, but also faculty and also the researchers and also workforce. So we may get some affordable housing or missing middle housing on Carolina North. It is supposed to be designed as a learn, live, work, and play environment, and it will be designed to support innovation, entrepreneurship, and public and private partnerships. Ultimately, I am very concerned about the stormwater, floodwater runoff that will need to be dealt with. Also, transportation. It's going to be kind of really tough to get from what will become the South Campus to the North Campus, and I have yet to see how that's really going, how the two places will be integrated. So that's an issue. That's Carolina North, folks. How do you feel about these three developments, as it were? Let me know, and I appreciate your time. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next update. Thank you.